Chicken bacon ranch is just one of those flavor combinations that never let you down. So today we're going to turn it into a high protein, low carb meal prep bowl that you could take to work all week. It's creamy, cheesy, full of flavor, and it reheats in a snap. This chicken bacon ranch recipe makes 5 servings, each containing 49 grams of protein. Hi, I'm Tina, and on this channel I share high protein, low carb recipes that taste good. I eat low carb because I have to. I have reactive hypoglycemia, and a low carb diet is the treatment. All right, let's start prepping. We're going to start with these green beans, and if you have them available to you, Piro makes some that are snipped on the end, so that's going to make the work a little bit quicker. They're already pre-washed and snipped, so you don't have to worry about cutting the ends off. For these, I'm just going to cut them into bite-sized pieces, and since they're already snipped, it's pretty easy. I just kind of line up a handful of them and cut them in half, and then we're going to stick these aside in the bowl over here. Now, I will say that this recipe calls for 15 ounces of green beans, and this particular bag, if you do have them available in your area, only has 12 ounces. So I did pull out 3 ounces from another bag, but that's no worry to me because Ronnie and I will eat this for dinner one day this week. So we're just gonna finish cutting these up and get them in the bowl. And I'm only cutting these up basically just so that they're bite-sized. It's easier to eat. I don't have to worry about cutting these at my desk when I'm eating my lunch. So, a couple of them I missed. Easy peasy, nothing to it. All right, we'll set this aside. And now we're gonna grate some cheese. So we'll just run right through these ingredients. Now, I don't grate cheese. I have arthritis in my hands, so I have this handy little shredder here that I love so dearly. I will link it down below in the description in the event that you might be interested in getting one. I find it to be much easier than grating the cheese. So I just cut it into a couple of pieces. It connects right down to the counter, and then you're just spinning cheese. Now for this recipe, I picked Colby Jack because it melts very well. It's a milder cheese, and I think it just fit well with the chicken bacon ranch. All right, so next we're gonna chop up some bacon. And again, to make this easier and quick, I purchased this pre-cooked bacon from Greenfield. It doesn't have any nitrates, so I really like this particular brand. They sell regular bacon too, not just pre-cooked. I just got the pre-cooked because, easy. All right, so you need 2.5 ounces of bacon. I believe this pack has 2.4, but we're just gonna go with it. Now, another option you might wanna try if you don't have the pre-cooked bacon is bacon bits and mixing bacon bits into this recipe. It'd be even easier. You wouldn't have to chop anything. Now it's time to cut up and season the chicken. And I chose chicken thighs for this dish. And I do for almost all of my meal prep dishes when I'm using chicken. And that's because the chicken thighs hold up much better to meal prep. Sitting in your fridge, reheating in the microwave, you're not having to worry about it drying out like you would a chicken breast. So I much prefer the chicken thighs on this meal. So you're gonna wanna just cut this up into bite-sized pieces and whatever your bite size happens to be. So I have been trying to rack my brain to remember where I heard this tip, but I'm gonna share it with you anyway. I can't attribute it to its source, so apologize there. Do not let your chicken thaw completely, and it is so much easier to cut. So I happen to let this one go a little bit too long today, so I didn't get it before it was, while it was still partially frozen. So I pulled another one out just so that I could show you this. But so this one is just a little bit frozen, so it's just harder. It's not slimy and soft like a thawed chicken. So it just cuts so much nicer. Look at that. Look how easy that slice is. This is how I do almost all of my chicken. I just had a work emergency today, and so it ended up thawing a little bit longer than I had wanted it to. All right. So we're going to top this off with a tablespoon of avocado oil. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder, other end. A teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of paprika. All right, and now we're going to give this just a stir to mix in all of the seasoning, and then we'll set it aside while we prepare our ranch dressing. Now for the ranch dressing, my preference is to make my own, because then that way I can tailor the ingredients and the flavors to exactly what Ronnie and I's preferences are. But I've seen many recipes online for chicken bacon ranch that use just ranch dressing. So if you have a favorite ranch dressing you want to use, please go for it. So we'll start with a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And I am putting this in a smoothie blender to blend it up. I find that to be the easy way. So we're gonna do a 1/4 cup of sour cream, followed by a 1/2 cup of cottage cheese. Now, that's not the recipe for ranch dressing standard, but I really like to add cottage cheese just for the protein, and it's a real food, so you're not adding protein with protein powder. So any chance I get to do this, I like to. So if you are a fan of cottage cheese to raise your protein, make sure you hit the like button. And then I am only using 2 tablespoons of the ranch dressing mix. That's because it makes 2 cups of dressing, and this is not quite 2 cups. And the whole package was a little too much for us. So I'm gonna put that right in here, followed by 1/4 cup of milk. We're gonna blend this up and I'll be right back. Before we start filling the bowls, we need to go ahead and spray them to ensure that the food doesn't stick to them. I use these nice little 4-cup bowls because they have this great lid that stays on there, and they're easy to heat, easy to transport in my lunchbox. So I will make sure I link these down below if you're interested in these. So the easiest way I found to assemble this is with a scale. So now that we have our bowl sprayed, I just put it on the scale and zero it out. We start off with 3 ounces of green beans. Then you're gonna zero the scale, and you're gonna add a 1/2 ounce of bacon. Follow that up with 1/4 cup of cheese and 5 ounces of chicken. Make sure you zero out that scale before you start adding your chicken. All right. This is a little over. All right, and then we will lastly put in a 1/4 cup of the ranch dressing. And we're going to stir this up. And then we just want to make sure that everything is nice and coated with the ranch dressing. It helps everything from drying out in the oven. Now we'll do this with the other 4 bowls and be right back. Now that the bowls are all prepped, we're just going to top them off with the rest of our cheese before we put them in the oven. And these are gonna bake at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. Sorry, took me a second to remember how long we were cooking them for. All right, let's get these in. Oh, before I do that, I do want to top them off with a bit of freshly ground pepper. I don't think I'm going to add the salt until after we give this a taste and see how it turned out. For me, ranch tends to be a little bit on the salty side, plus you got some saltiness from the cheese. So we'll just hold off on that till we taste it. While those are in the oven, I do want to let you know that I load all of my recipes in MyFitnessPal. So if you use that to log your macros, you will be able to find it under She Preps Smart Chicken Bacon Ranch Bowl. I will also put the details down below in the description. I also make a printable recipe card for each of them that I will have the direct download link in the description below. On the back also has the macros. And I will put a QR code right here that you can scan for my TV viewers that will take you right to the download so you don't have to go back to your computer. I would love to know what you guys think of these. If you wouldn't mind dropping something in the comments below. Do you find them useful? Are there any changes you would like me to make that would make this more usable for you? Just let me know and I'll see what I can do to accommodate those requests. Thank you. So it's time to give it a taste and see how it turned out. Get a little bit of chicken, some green beans, some bacon, all that good comfort goodness. The chicken is cooked perfectly. Still juicy and tender. It's got a little bit of crunch in the green bean, but definitely done. Some tanginess from the ranch and the creaminess from the cheese. Just love it. It's such an easy dish to put together. Now, as far as storage, we're just going to store them in the fridge with the lids on for the work week. Take one for lunch each day. Pop it in the microwave about 2 minutes. Give it a stir, maybe another 15, 20 seconds after that, and you should be good to go. So if you like meal prep recipes, you should check out this video I'll put right here. If you like what you see, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching my video.